starting a new community. We're bringing in Beeper, Farhat, and Hannah. For those of you who don't know these people, let me give you a little introduction. First up, we have Beeper, aka Caleb McKinnon. He's a former model who takes power naps and loves animals. Has been taught mechanics over the course of this wonderful apocalypse. He has 128 health and 141 stamina. His beliefs are in the sheriff domain, meaning that he puts helping others and protecting others above all else, and he feels like we have to build our relationships with others before we do anything else. He is an auto mechanic, and he has that completely leveled. His skills are gunslinging, close combat, scouting, and marathon. Next up, we have number 2, Mr. Farhat. His name is Farhat Malek. Was a security guard in his previous life. He's a blood plague survivor. He's been physically trained, and he learned how to cook. He specialized in nutrition all the way up. He has gunslinging, close combat, stealth, and powerhouse, and his responsibilities in the community, being that he's like the chief warlord, would mainly be taking out plague hearts and managing the zombie threat. He has 138 health and 131 stamina. The third and final survivor we're bringing in is Hannah, aka Hannah Moss. She was a high school mascot and a cancer survivor. She learned about lichen, and she always hated Thanksgiving. Her skills are backpacking, resourcefulness, swordplay, and gunslinging, and as it said, she learned lichenology with me, which brings in a lot. She is our resident trader, meaning that she values, above all else, trading with the outside community and making her community strong through earning income. I did forget to mention that Farhat is a warlord, but to me, it's obvious. To you guys, maybe not so much. His values lie in defeating the enemy, whether it's a hostile enclave or whether it's, a horde of zombies or a plague horde. That's what Farhat excels in, or wants to excel in. And finally, Hannah's stats: 128 health, 161 stamina. With that said, these are 3 leaders in my community. They're 3 of 4 leaders. The only leader not represented, I'm pretty sure, is Mr. Gage, who leads our builder clan. So, we're coming in with Beeper, Farhat, and Hannah. Let's see what we can make happen. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm going to go ahead and let this video play while I get some water.
And we're empty. Again.
So, whose turn is it to find more fuel?
Not me. Last time I took a wrong turn and almost got lost.
I have a better idea. We could settle down here instead of moving on.
I gotta say, it looks better than the last couple of towns we came through.
Now that you mention it, it does feel kind of homey.
It's settled. This town is where we'll set up our new base. We just have to find a spot that's defensible. Maybe with some room to expand.
Alright, you heard the 3. The leaders have decided that they're just going to stop here, and they're not going to go any further. So,
yeah, that's
fair enough. Let's see what our car has left. Looks like they dinked up our car a fair bit. We got 2 rucks of medicine and some screws. Alright, they've got some stuff from their previous communities on them. So, they will have some starting gear, some starting stuff. And as people come in there, you're going to notice some of them have stuff on them.
Hey, we've got company.
Okay. You got it? You handling it? Good job, Hannah. These people are not in webs. They know what they're doing. They know how to handle themselves. That's why they're here, starting the community for us. As soon as I say they know what they're doing, I hit the door instead of open it. Fantastic start to the day. Alright, 1, 2. Is there a third? No, that's it. Alright. Start by... Apparently, I think hitting everything's gonna work. I just got up Genshin Impact, so that's where my brain's at. Alright, so this is our first home, Firewatch Fortress. It's not quite a forever home, but it's got 4 walls, so it'll do for now. Total slots, 8. Slots of current base, 1, because you start with like a little camp. It requires 1 person to activate. We have 3. It has 1 infirmary, 2 parking spots, and a fire watch tower. Let's take it. Let's make this our base of operations, get it set up, and get our people going and doing what they need to handle. First and foremost, when we take a new base, we take a look. This is the Firewatch Fortress. It comes with 3 slots you can build on, and it provides you an infirmary day 1, minute 1. That is something you can rip out if you're not interested. But I am interested because I have a lycanologist on the team. It means it's quote unquote paid for, so it's not going to cost me anything to have that infirmary, and it's actually going to benefit my community to have an infirmary day 1, minute 1. Some things that are built in are your storage, your command center, and the Firewatch Tower itself, which provides your community with 4 beds. As always, there are parking spaces, in this case 2 parking spaces, for you to bring vehicles in to either travel with or carry rucksacks, whatever you need to do. Our resources are kind of scarce right now. We have 6 food. Our survivors are eating 1.125 a day, which is not high, but it's not nothing. Our meds, as you can see, our infirmary costs 2 meds per day, but Hannah is paying that cost, so we don't have a meds cost even with the infirmary installed. No ammo cost. We have 3 materials to our name. We don't have any ammo. We don't have any fuel. We don't have any parts. We have 4,220 influence because I set us up with the trader boon and the builder boon. And we have 2,961 prestige if I want to go and pull anything from prestige land. I don't think that's a lot, though. Our community itself, we have a population of 3. Our available labor is 3. Our available beds are 2. So in addition to what we've got already, our 3 people in the community, we can bring in 2 more survivors without an issue. Beeper actually takes power naps, so he doesn't consume a bed, which, sweet good gravy, thank you Beeper so much. So we can bring in 2 more people before we need to look for another housing establishment. Community is currently feeling empowered, which means their facility, action speed, build action speed are both at 100%, and their experience rate is at 50%. They're a little bit happy about some things that we previously did because Farhat and Hannah had accomplished that in their last community. So for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to have an extra plus 20, just bringing that up. We are in green community. Everybody laugh, but we're just starting out and getting established. So it's hopeful survivors plus 15. And then Hannah brings in 7 morale by herself, 2 pieces, plus 4 for being a cancer survivor, and plus 3 for hating Thanksgiving, which I find hilarious. There's a few active effects I would like to make note of. Beeper does bring in 1 stack of meal plan, which reduces the community food consumption by 25%. We have knowledge of cooking and nutrition, knowledge of gardening and herbology, or herbalism, not herbology, herbalism, knowledge of mechanics and knowledge of auto mechanics. And like I said, our legacy boons were amenities and favors, meaning we started with free base-wide power and water, and started the game with $4,000 to our name. Temporary resources. For the next hour, we have a temporary resource storage because we just moved into a new base. Things that we are bringing in, plus 10 stamina from Farhat, plus 15 max health from Farhat and Hannah, so plus 30 health there. And then an additional plus 10 max health from Farhat. So if you want to look at it, it's actually a plus 40 health just between Hannah and Farhat, which I think is absolutely crazy. We got 100% resting trauma and HP recovery from the infirmary, and also a 75% resting infection recovery rate from the infirmary. We have a 25% fuel efficiency from Beeper, 50% vehicle stealth also from Beeper. And because of our morale status being cheerful, we have a 33% experience rate. We have 2 outposts because we have our command center base level. We got base-wide water and power from our amenities boost. We have a 500% buff for the next build speed buff for the next 10 minutes. Excited, let's build some facilities. And we also have 50% in both build action speed and facility action speed for being cheerful. Lastly, we do have a threat source of the command center, generating plus 3 passive noise from population, 1 for each of the characters we currently have obtained. With that said, right off the bat, Beeper and Farhat, while they are leaders in my community, while they are bosses of their divisions, Beeper leads the sheriffs, Farhat leads the warlords. We only have 1 traitor, so we always make Hannah queen. So we're going to go ahead and have her step into the position of power with basically her 2 lieutenants on her left and her right. The name of this community will be the Asylum, which is absolutely fantastic because I haven't had that before. I've randomly pulled it absolutely 100%. And the Asylum makes sense because there's going to be a lot of crazy shenanigans with my boy Farhat, and I accept the name Asylum. To the left, this is Beeper. I'm going to throw him up on the stage. We discussed him previously. I'm just giving you a quick look at his traits, which are things that we did not go over. The buffs from his traits, again, he doesn't use a bed, and he gets plus 20 max personal stamina. For Miss Hannah, here are her buffs. Again, the 7 morale from Cancer Survivor and Hated Thanksgiving. And finally, Mr. Farhat. Because he was physically trained, he had a bit of a difficulty when he had to redo his fighting skill, but that's okay. We got him all the way up now. And the only other thing is that he does not take Blood Plague Infection, as he is a Blood Plague survivor, one of 2 that I have for the community. Alright, with that said, let's go ahead and start doing some base building crafters. We've got our infirmary settled, so we don't have to do any medical care. What I like to do is start off with whatever our strengths are as a community. And with Hannah being a trader, she's going to want things that make money. Let's see if we can do anything that makes money right now. Doesn't look like we have the facilities needed to make money. So I think our next best option would be something that supports the community. And I feel like all 3 leaders would vote for a workshop, just for the fact of the matter that a workshop does tend to benefit the community in more than one way. So we're going to go ahead and install the workshop where we can craft explosives and fix our weapons. It's going to cost 3 of our 3 materials, but that's alright because we're going to get ourselves out of here as soon as we start this build to go secure some additional materials. Alright. That goes ahead and closes out our first mission so that we can move things along. Of the 3 of our leaders, none of them really like to leave, so let's have Hannah do what Hannah does best and spend some shmoney. And she is going to reach out and get Gage, the Rage here. He's our 4th and final leader, our 3rd lieutenant, if you will. Gage the Rage. Now, these are in alphabetical order. Here he is, Gage the Rage. Let's get Gage coming on in, and we will discuss him as soon as he's here. This is our 3rd lieutenant and our 4th leader in general. He leads the division of the builders. He comes in with 168 health, 171 stamina. He has 2 traits, both Green Thumb and Lives on Pasta. Green Thumb means he gets 50% more gardening experience rate, and Lives on Pasta means he consumes less food. Once he gets his hero bonus, he will give us our 2nd stack of meal plan, which will reduce what our community eats overall. He is kitted out with the 5th skill of Agriculture, which is the 2nd tier of gardening, and brings in 1 food per day because he's got it completely maxed. His skills are Sharpshooting, Close Combat, Resourcefulness, and Backpacking. I picked those skills because, again, his philosophy as a builder is that we need to build our home into a barracks, into a safe haven, and that is how we survive the apocalypse. We're going to grab Mr. Gage and get him emptied out. He brought us 7 materials, which will make our base building a little bit easier. And then he's going to empty his pockets real fast. He happened to bring us some plague samples, some circuitry, 1 pile of weapon remains, but better 1 pile than nothing. Some snacks, a mod called the Espresso Machine, my favorite mod, the Network Signal Booster, which will give you 2 additional outpost options once installed. And we got something for gardening. He brought in some plague samples that we can sell or use, our discretion, and then the rest of this stuff is all him, and he's all kitted up and geared out. Alright, Gage, let's go show the community what we do best. Now, he did bring us our materials, so we don't have to worry about those, but our community is craving, bullets and fuel. So what he needs to do is get himself out of the door and just go look. He doesn't do any scouting, he legit just goes with what he sees. He goes with his gut. He tends to go look around and he believes in ground reconnaissance more than doing your due diligence from the towers and stuff. It's just his personal preference. each one of the leaders has a
Seems
slightly
like somebody
different
cleaned this place. Ow.
outlook. So there's nothing here. What about the truck? Okay, we've got one truck we can search. Fantastic. Let's get that done.
Nice.
What did we win? We won a pack of cheap smokes, which is a luxury item. We got some light bolts for his crossbow. Fantastic. And we got a tattered note that simply says, "Call Mom." Okay, bro. Apparently somebody really, really, really needed to call Mom. I hope they got that taken care of before the apocalypso. So otherwise, that's some tough luck. Go ahead and take care of that Zed. None of my community actually needs to level anything. They're all squared away and taken care of. So it's just a matter of their playstyle. Gage, you can see he's got a silenced pistol and a crossbow. He believes in looting first and getting what we need squared away and taken care of. And less so make it a big scene. He doesn't want to make the big interest. Like, Farhat, my boy, wants to, like, set the world on fire and burn it. Gage is more like, well, if we could stealth there, that would be good. And if we could just get what we need to done without causing a ginormous scene, that would also be good. We found a little bit of a blue garage. It's a potential outpost with offering possible materials. Now, I said materials weren't on the list, but Gage is... he's hard up on materials at all times. He likes to build big projects, and he likes to honor a lot of our leaders' requests. Mainly, she wants that trade depot, and she wants a barracks, and there's a lot of bigger projects that Hannah wants to see done. Hannah is one of those people that really thinks about the community first. Where she thinks that we do need to trade with outside sources, she does not put that before the health, safety, and well-being of her community. And she asked that her lieutenants have a similar value system or outlook. So let's go ahead and speak with the aimless wanderers since we're over here. Sid says, our supply of plague samples has run low. If you can find more, we have fuel to trade. I'm like, cool, we need fuel. And I'm like, alright, we can handle that. We definitely have those at home. That I can bring those down to you, and we can get that taken care of.
Helping out like this is a good way to make friends.
Yeah, it is, Gage, it is. All of my lieutenants are extremely positive people. And they teach their underlings, if you will, their sections, that the best thing to do to build a community is to do so with an open heart and open mind and extending positivity to others, which is what we do on this channel. So it kind of vibes and lines up. Whatever's the quietest, Gage, honestly.
It's down, but not dead.
2-shot. I was hoping for 1 shot, but we'll take a 2-shot, Gage. That's not too bad. Welcome in if you haven't been welcomed already. We're just doing some cool zombie stuff today. Just relaxing and vibing and taking a bit of break from our Genshin Fortnite roll that we were on. Alright, Gage. Let's not alert the whole dang neighborhood. That would be fantastic. I don't care what difficulty you play on. It's better to not alert every single zombie at all times. If you don't have the setup to kind of swag that out. You know, if you don't have the setup to run that, then I suggest just going around them, finding an alternate road, using a little stealth. I'm not saying there's never a call for violence. I'm just saying be careful what you wish for. This is a permadeath game, so if you lose, you lose. It's just that simple. Let's go ahead and get these mats put away. There you go, another 7 mats, nice. So with that coming in, we're going to want to start another project. Ooh, I put your stuff away, whoops. Silly me, what was I thinking? Get your painkillers back, there you go. Let's drop off what we collected, and then we're going to go to the... It's been a minute, so it might be a little rough with the controls. Our last thing that I'd like to put in would be a kitchen so that Farhat can actually have something to do. We can craft stamina items and produce food if we need to. And it's only going to cost us like 4 materials. So we're going to go ahead and start that project while we still got some buffs in place. Like I said, he just kind of runs around, so he doesn't really look. You can see there's the fading billboard. That's more a Beeper's thing. So what we're going to do is, because we're technically running a mission, we're going to have Sheriff Beeper come out and play for a minute. He actually has a ruck of fuel for us, so that reduces what we need to go and look for to just needing a ruck of bullets, which that's nice. Yeah. Oh, I forgot I upgraded your gun. When I was looking at his guns, I was like, why does he have like a little SMG? And I forgot that I actually got that off the bounty broker, I'm pretty sure. Alright, let's clear you out. Brought a couple noodle knives, those could be useful. A couple first aid kits, some stamina. And then we'll just reset you with... I'm gonna wait for you to have some like low tier snacks, my guy. You'll be fine, Beeper. You can run for ages. So Beeper, what Beeper's gonna do is grab our mission item, which is, I believe it's 3 of these. So let's just grab 3, and we'll go ahead and we'll get out there back to the aimless wanderers who have asked us for something. And the sheriffs in my community, they all believe that. So everybody basically has pillars, right? I'm going to start at the top. So we have the warlords. Their pillar is search, find, and destroy. What they do for my community is they find the target that they need to, whether it's a heart, a pack of zombies, a freak, whatever it is that they need to find. And they use their various abilities and skill sets to eliminate the target, and then they search and secure the building. So they break out the heart, take what they want out of it, and then they secure the building so that somebody else, the builder class, can come in and search the area and get my community what it needs. Jumping to the builder community, like I said, their priority is to build up our base and make it strong, but their sub priority is to go out and be our searchers, our gatherers. They tend to look for stuff, whether it's stuff that we expressly need, or whether it's stuff that just bolsters our community. That is their goals. It's not that no one else can search, it's just that's one of their main daily tasks and focuses. Leading into that, you have the sheriff class. They do a lot of the reconnaissance work, and they also tend to take on most of the missions because they believe in helping others and promoting our community that way. And finally, you got the traders. The trader class, really for me, I use them to build the trade depot, call traders in, and manage our money, as I only keep one trader on team at all times. I basically use Hannah for everything. She does the buying and the selling and the managing the purse and dispersing funds to her lieutenants, who then disperse the funds to their underlings, and they basically take care of what they need to take care of. So we'll keep going over it. I know it's probably new, it's fresh for you guys. I don't think anyone else quite plays the way I play, but it's just I like to bring in those role-playing aspects to keep the game new, fresh, and not getting stale while we wait for new updates. So Sid says, did you get your hands on those plague samples? Like I said before, I'll trade you for the fuel. And he's like, I got what you need. It was only 2, but I got it.
If one of us gets infected.
Nice. She paid us with a fuel tank and 500
We're happy to share
influence.
the recipe if you need it.
Nothing that we would turn down, for sure.
For sure. Thank you.
And while we already brought in 1 bag of fuel, 1 bag of fuel is not going to run a whole community. So we're going to have him go ahead and head back to base. He needs to drop off this ruck, and then there is a searching spot at the base that we can use him and his sheriff ability to basically scout.
Anyone else notice? The medicine cabinet's looking pretty empty.
Gotcha.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I definitely hear you. And I try to listen to my community. So far, the warlord is basically like, look, I can't bust play cards if I have no medicine. And I'm like, my man, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I know where you're coming from, and I respect that. So I'll put that on the priority list, but I gotta get ammo first. So it's gonna be ammo medicine. But I try to listen to my community, listen to what they're expressing, their needs, their opinions, their wants and desires, because I feel like if you don't, you can play however you want to play, but if you don't, you're kind of negating some of the story plots that have been put in, or some of the things that they try to help you with. Alright, so I feel like we're in a decent place with both materials and fuel right now, and in order it would literally be ammo, meds, and then food for my community to kind of quote-unquote stabilize. Before we put Beeper away, like I said, we are going to have him run up and go ahead and have a look for us, and try to tell us what he sees, so that we can take care of business. Am I not in the right spot, bro? There we go. Don't know what happened the first time, but yeah. Yeah, sometimes the game has a mind of its own a little bit. Nice, Gage was out and he brought in some supplies. That's what I like to hear. Especially since he's our scavenger. That's definitely what I like to hear.
I think that'll do it.
Alright, Beeper. Thank you, my man. Let's go ahead and get it thrown over to Gauge the Rage, as he's going to need to go out again and try to prioritize getting some bullets. Now, if he finds medicine or food, I won't turn it down, as those are also in the to-do list. But it's just like the main idea of getting him in there and getting it taken care of. Alright. Now we've decided some places so he could pretty much go anywhere he wants to go to raid, as long as it's somewhere that we have found. So he wouldn't go over here to this blank spot, for instance, because it hasn't been discovered yet, because I believe that unless he physically runs past it, he's not going to discover it. Again, he believes in reconnaissance from the ground, as opposed to Beeper and Beeper's crew, who believe that climbing the towers gives you the sight to find things. So that's just a little bit insight on how that works for me. We're looking for something that claims to have ammo, or something that we think would have ammo, because this, to me, it's like your instincts from your team. And none of what we have scouted thus far, even the plague heart, is not going to have ammo. Now, I have no idea how you would know what's inside there. I know it's a game mechanic to make it easier for the players, but in my brain, I'm like, how would you know what's inside a thick mass of blood and tissue and gore? Like, how would you know? So since we can't do bullets, we move to our next need, which is medical. And we do have the Winchester Urgent Care nearby, so we're going to go to that and square up some of our medicine needs real fast. When I used to play, I used to have a mentality of 100% of the map needed to be zipped and taken care of. Now I'm mainly like, when I do search, the first few places get searched 100%, but as we get deeper into playing, by like day 3, it's going to be just Fast and Furious style, get in, grab what I need, and get out. Because if you 100% search everything, that's fantastic, that's great for you, but it takes an incredible amount of time. It's not that I won't open every container, it's that I may leave items behind, just because they have little use to my community. Now, jugs of alcohol, that's something we can craft with. That's a necessity. Crafting items will always be a necessity. We're looking for, like, stamps and medical things and good guns and bullets and things like that. Bullets are good. Firecrackers are good. I'll try to give you an idea as we go along of things that I consider less worthwhile that we would be ditching. Parts will always be necessary because you need to repair your weapons and keep them in working order. Next box. We got 7 here. We got kind of lucky with this first digs. Well, not first, but there you go. There's a case of medicine. That's something we definitely need. Go ahead and keep looking. If I'm really lucky, we'll get 2 rucks out of this place. It has happened before. It has been done before, so toolkit, that is necessary, but once I get to like 10 toolkits, I don't necessarily pick up every single one. Not because I don't want to maintain my vehicles, but because I just feel like I have other needs. Bag of fertilizer we'll take for now, but I may sell it in the future for monies. Some of these things I take for future profit, just because our trader is a massive seller. She believes in selling almost more than she does in buying, because getting money in the community is definitely a priority. Where do you see a screamer at, bud? Where is it? That's not going to be something he's going to pursue. Not really. We will have him check this car trunk real fast. Pile of weapon remains, that is something he would definitely bring home. Again, as we go along, I'll give you a better idea of what I mean by something that we would disregard. I haven't seen any items yet, but there are items in the game that I just feel like my community just does not necessarily need. Because we have a zombie on us, we're going to deal with that zombie before it can call its friends and cause me any more issues. 1 Zed is not an issue, but in higher levels, like 30 Zeds, you're dead. Like, that's just how that works. So we don't want to set the precedent early that we're going to allow to get grouped up on and things like that. Because it's a mindset, it's like a state of mind, a state of being. Let's get this medicine in so that Gage can earn some citizen standing. For those of you who are new to State of Decay, I just want to go over 5 seconds of the rankings. When you first bring someone in that's not from your pool, you'll notice they have a title of recruit. What that means is they're unknown to the community, and the community doesn't know anything about them because they're fresh and new. The next status you'll see is citizen. That means that the community has become your home, and the community has accepted you as part of it. You just build it by doing actions. Some actions like killing a heart, a plague heart, have more sway than something like a single zombie kill, but it all tacks up over time to get you through the level. So it starts recruit, then it goes citizen. At the level of hero, you unlock your hero bonus, which I showed you on the other characters, and then there is a top tier one that only one person in your community can have, and that is the status of leader. Leader is the last rank. For Hannah, she has her leader status right now, and she says it's simple: a rising tide lifts all boats, and a thriving barter system lifts all communities. By helping our neighbors, we help ourselves. And that's her mission statement for her community as leader. So those are the 4 levels for anybody who didn't understand what I meant. Alright, let's see what else we can square away. Somebody have a mission, or is it the base mission? Oh, Hannah, of course, is already starting. She's like, I need to build a trade depot. I'm like, Hannah, sweetie, I love you, but that requires a large spot, and that is something at this base, at this time, we just do not have, and we don't have the numbers yet to get it. So give me a minute, Hannah, sweet Hannah, and I'll square you away. Just, you're gonna have to give me some time. As Gage still needs citizenship, he's gonna go on what I call a double run. That's where a person goes on runs back to back. Typically in my community, I rotate every run unless I'm going to perform a double. I never do a triple or beyond, just a double. The next thing that we can kind of use now that I got us some medicine, let's see. We could use another bag of medicine or food, or of course ammo, but like I've said, what we've scouted this far has not resulted in knowing where ammo is. But if we could find another bag of medicine or a bag of food, I'd be happy with that. We do know that the tartan mart next to the urgent care has a chance of having some food. So let's have Gage go out on a double and go get us a bag of food. Just so I can feel a little bit more secure. I know that they are already reduced in what they're going to eat. Their consumption is reduced. But I feel like having the reduced consumption and having the food on hand just makes life easier, and it really is reassuring, and it's calming, and it's one less thing that I'll have to worry about for this particular community.
Locked up tight.
Alright, that one's locked. How about the door next to it? Yep. Hashtag state of decay logic. We lock one door, but not the other. Alright, we've got 3 containers in here, and one of them may contain food. Of course, I forgot to dump Gage the Rage out, but we can take the ethanol and the food, which is what I was really concerned. I basically came down here for the food. I'm sorry, Gage, I forgot to dump you out. But, so this is one thing that I would leave behind. It's a boombox. Some people say they really love them, but to me, they're not as necessary as other items. I know you could trigger them whenever, but you'll get a lot of them. So I was able to take everything but the boombox, and I am happy with that raid. If I ever go back to that location for any reason, I may pick up the boombox, but it's not necessarily something I'm gonna like run back for one item, if that makes sense. That's on the short list of items that I'm happy to leave behind. I prefer the firework consumable that you place on the ground. It basically shoots fireworks in the air and makes a really loud noise. The only difference between the fireworks that go in the air and the boombox is the boombox is triggerable, meaning you can set it off when you would like it set off, which is why some people say it's superior, but in my opinion, they do a similar task and can be interchanged as needed. Alright, so that was a successful run. Now, because I don't believe in exhaustion, there's more usable construction material than I imagined. Beeper brought in some materials. Sweet. Now, as I said, due to exhaustion, I limit my runs to 1 or 2 at a time, and Gage has had 2, so we're going to go ahead and let looting go for a minute, and we're going to go ahead and grab Mr. Beeper instead. Beeper is going to go ahead and head down to this fading billboard and try to get us more views in our area. To me, one of the biggest responsibilities of an early community is to know what's in their area so that they can better address their needs of what they accurately need. What I mean by that is simply if you need everything, it's pretty easy to loot. But as you start looting things and you start taking care of certain needs, it becomes a little bit harder to justify some looting scenarios. For instance, if I get 20 food and my community is doing really good in food, it doesn't make as much sense to continue to tackle the food crisis as it would to look around and say, hey, what else do I need for this community? What else can I improve? So we made it to the billboard with only one Zed following us. Not too bad. Whereas Gage believes in, like, no zombie should ever follow me, Beeper is like, you could follow me so I know where you are. He's not necessarily going to murk every Zed in all of eternity like Farhat would, but he's a little bit more aggressive than Beeper. In my aggression rating, it would literally be Hannah and Gage have extremely similar views. They believe 100% stealth. Then you have Beeper and his sheriffs next, who believe, yes, stealth, but if engaged, let's level the playing field. And then you have the warlords at the top that's like, what is engagement? We murder everything. So that's kind of like my tier of aggression list for everybody. So depending on what faction they've stepped into, kind of for me, depends what they're going to be doing. Hey, buddy. Hi, how you doing? Trying to get headshot, thank you. So you see, Beeper's trying to clear his way home a little bit, but he's also trying to use stealth. He believes in silencing his weapons and taking care with his shots, whereas somebody like Farhat would absolutely not. Now, this ruined car lot brings up a question. I said Gage and Gage's peons, they basically handle all the looting, but the ruined car lot literally has one container and Beeper's standing in front of it. In this scenario, I believe anybody could loot it. It's just I use, like I said, I use my builders for a main. A revolving door for what? I just saw chat. What do you mean by a revolving door? Like a revolving door with the system I'm using, or a revolving door that the developers could have put in? Or coming into my base with a revolving door. Sorry, I'm not watching chat. That's one of my downsides. Oh, okay, sorry, I saw it way late, so like my brain just 86 itself. Yeah, if they put a revolving door, that might be helpful, because honestly, like, who the heck locks one door? That's still my, like, who, like, I've worked for businesses with double doors, and I have never, like, locked one side and then left the other side good. Like, okay, we're all good. Sorry, I'll try to do better at managing chat. I just woke up, so my brain is not 100% right now. Let's put my stuff away. Can he have his medicine back? I do this all the time. I put, like, medicine away. Medicine and stam away that I actually would like to have on my person. I just throw it away. Alright, the community status has slipped a little bit stable. Talk to me, guys. What's going on? Farhat, Hannah, Gage, and Beeper are frustrated with me that there's no Anna and no ammo, and Farhat is +5 extra because he's actually worried now. So I need to get them some ammo, like yesterday. I actually know where some is, so I'm just gonna go do it. I'm breaking my rule just because my community's not gonna like. Oh, thanks. I just try to make it, I believe that, like, everybody could have a first time coming in, so I just try to explain the game as I go along, because I don't want anybody to be watching and be lost, because that's not fun for anybody. I watch a lot of other streamers, and I hate when I come into a new game, and I'm like, so can anybody tell me what the heck is going on? And there's just, like, radio silence. So I try my best, just to make it a vibe. Because at the end of the day, all we're trying to do right now is have a great time. And enjoy some video games and maybe forget, like, what's going on in our life. Because that's what I'm trying to do, is just live my life and forget about some of the stuff that's bugging me. Because with anxiety, I have to do that, or it drives me absolutely insane. Where am I going? Oh yeah, I'm going over here to get some ammo. Duh. because my people are just not going to leave me alone until I get it accomplished. I didn't happen to have ammo in here. No, it was all medical. Okay. Aw. That's a shame. Yeah, I just try to keep it simple and enjoy the gameplay, because the game is why I'm here. So if I'm going to drag you all along, I might as well enjoy the game. This is one of my favorite games. It's definitely my top 10. I just had to take a break from it because I got burnt out. Honestly, with how long it took for Forever Communities to come into the game, there's no hate on my end, but it just wore me down a little bit playing the game, so I needed a little health break, and I took one from this game. And that's why I've been playing Fortnite and Genshin Impact mainly. It's not that I dislike other games, it's just those are easy for me to play and they don't take a lot of effort. There we go, there's the big boy that I was waiting for. I know there's ammo in here. And yes, everyone, I do realize there was a closer place, it's just that one is bigger to raid typically. Providence and I are best friends. I know where stuff is. Excuse you, door. You hit me, I didn't hit you. As I said, Farhat has his own distinct personality. He doesn't care about making noise, he doesn't care about zombies. He in fact enjoys stomping the living daylights out of zombies. Which, if an apocalypse were to happen, I don't think would be something that I would absolutely love to do. Absolutely not. It would drive me crazy. I would be like a staying-at-home kind of person. Like, y'all go secure the supply drop. I will be at home, making sure that nothing at home gets hurt. That would be more me. Yes, I know, Hannah, I failed to build your wonderful trade depot. So there's a bag of ammo so everybody can take a deep breath. Because one thing I won't do is, while I enjoy the roleplay side of things, I'm not going to let my community sit there and suffer just because I'm like, well, I haven't seen a depot, so I can't do it. No, I know where one is. I'll square it up, and then we can go back to our intricate system of crafting that I have going on. Exploder says it's right over here. Where are you, buddy? Are you in that bush? Yes, you are. That's a nasty thing to do, Mr. Bloater. Nasty. Farhat will not stand for it. Sweet, I can recruit someone else. I'm really happy with the Forever Communities update. Like I said, there's no hate for me at all. I know some streamers were really upset with how long it took. I appreciate that it took extra long and so my survivors don't get deleted or any of the other terrible bugs. I just was a little frustrated, to be honest, because again, it did take so long. But I think a lot of people got mad. I saw some Twitter controversy after that when they did the Dress to Kill update for 32 instead of the next one. But personally, I don't want the infestation update, so the Dress to Kill update, which came in and just added a bunch of clothes to the game, was welcomed on my front. Because no thank you. I'm not interested in making the game harder. I know some people are, and that's great, but I just, not something on my front, if that makes sense. Alright, what do we got left to do? Let's take a look. I'm feeling good about food and materials and gas. Our community is pretty much squared away. A little light on bullets, but that's going to be okay. That's something that Gage can handle as he needs to, and a little light on medicine. So bullets and medicine are going to be our priorities, and are pretty much only priorities. We could use some more parts if he can find them. That would be great. And bringing in another person wouldn't hurt either. So let's get one of our lieutenants to get another underling. Miss Hannah, if you would get on the radio, please. Be a dear, and maybe empty out your pockets while you're here, because I'm, again, terrible at remembering that my community has stuff in their pockets. You put all that away from me. You can keep your snacks. You can keep your snacks. I'm not snack hungry. I'm not taking that from you. Yeah, radio. Right. That's what we're doing. Let's go ahead and spend another 1,200. See if we can't get one of our lieutenant's underlings. I don't know who I'm going to pull. I'm just going to sort through by people and think about it. Alright. Alligator would bring in food income, which I don't think is going to be a problem early game because there's a reduced amount of people. Bear's not one of my big boys. Kua, he's pretty good. He's our other the second blood plague survivor. But he does chemistry, and that's not needed until I hit a bigger base. Who else we got? I have a lot of people I'm trying to work with. There's Haas. Haas is one of our programmers, but I don't think she's my main programmer. Let me look for my main programmer. That would probably be a solid choice right now. Jose is our driver. Kevin's into music. Latana, our electronics specialist. She's one of my favorite characters, and I'll show you guys why once we pull her in. But I just want to make sure she's the best pick. Taylor, I do miss you. You could help us with your construction perks, but again, you're kind of saved for like a bigger build, my dear. Let's see. I have quite a few characters at this point. Bringing in our nurse Victoria wouldn't be a terrible play, as we do have the infirmary, but she's more of a later game character for me, just because what she brings to the table is something I need like a slightly larger base to manage. So I think I will just go ahead and accept my fate and temporarily bring in Miss Latanya. Miss Latanya is going to help us sort our computers. So let's get Latanya in here. Fantastic. Let's take a look at her. As you can see, she's not suited up in black like everyone else. The reason she's not is because while she is a member of my communities, she only stays long enough to raise my command center to a 3, and then I'm like, it was a pleasure working with you, and I don't see her again until I have to set up a new community. She has 168 health, 131 stamina. She is a builder, so technically she would fall under Gage's jurisdiction for me. She does bring in 2 labor if I get up to hero, but I typically don't, just because, like I said, she comes in, works on the command center, and then leaves. Waiting for the radio. Alright, things about her: she worked in an office and grew up poor. She played zombie games and is considered hopeful, which means she is one of the rare ones that brings in racking 12 morale just from her traits. Hannah was our previous leader in the morale department with 7. This woman brings in an additional 5 morale to Hannah. I love having her in the community for a bit to pump up that morale, especially at the start, just because morale, like you saw, can dip at times, and it's nice to have that 12 buffer in between states. She is perked out with marathon, resourcefulness, close combat, and gunslinging, because while she does believe in Gage's method of going around getting everything she can, I haven't finished with books, and eventually marathon will become backpacking, just to get that extra slot in my backpack. As you can see, she does have electronics because she's my main programmer. So with that said, that's Miss Latanya. She'll be joining us for a little while. And her main mission is to see about the command center and getting it sorted. So right now we're at the command center stage 1. I would like to go to stage 2. That will cost me 5 on materials and 2 people, which I have both of those requirements. It's going to take about 10 minutes. So that's basically something I start and then step out of. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop the trader mission. I don't do a single trader mission because trader missions tend to upset my community, and I'm not looking to step on toes here. That is not something that I'm interested in squishing and squashing. So, alright. I will grab Miss Latanya for a bit because you get more worth in a character if they're not completely full up. And Miss Latanya here needs some shooting practice. Do you have a gun? No. Do we have an extra gun that you can borrow? Sure, you could use the back 10, I guess. That's what we got right now. If I set it to single fire, we can conserve our bullets. We have 39 bullets for the gun, which is nothing, but with gunslinging, it will even itself out because that's like a guaranteed headshot. Let's go ahead and take out this screamer that's been bothering everybody, or at least bothering me. If you guys didn't see it, well, good sauce. It was not bothering you then. After that, we're going to do some raiding and try to pick up some more meds and food. Hello. Edit number 1, thank you for your time. Oh, 10 influence for that, not bad. I'll take $10 for 1 zombie headshot. Doesn't happen every time, but it's nice when it does. Hi.
Enjoy peace eternal, asshole.
Another 10. Sweet. I thought they were worth 20, but if they're not, that's fine. what's in my area. So I raided these two places. Continuing on the theme of needing food and needing medicine, our next stop would probably be the Winchester fruit stand, not food stand, fruit stand, as it's our next source of easy peasy lemon squeezy food. Hush, we're just doing headshots. Headshots for the
Having a play hard
win.
move in must really fuck up property values.
I imagine it does, Latonia. I kind of agree with that statement. I don't think anybody wants to move next door to a
Looks like
play
nobody else
cart,
is home.
and in fact, enclaves tend to
Play
run
card
away
around
from them.
without
So,
one last.
all right, just running down the road, trying to loosen my load. Doing a little scout and seeing what the pickup truck's got for us. Parts, I'll take it. Sweet, thank you. Doppler says there's a Zed this way. Oh, you missed your headshot. You cost me an extra bullet. Well, whatever will we do? I'm really not worried about it. Alright. Let's go ahead and see if we can find that bag of food that's promised. I have never figured out what the little hammer symbol is. I'm assuming that means
bad.
parts,
Not bad.
but I don't know for sure. Go ahead and take him out, collect a sample, sweet. Using a gun without a silencer would be worse at higher levels just because, like, it's going to draw more Zeds as time goes on. But day 1, day 2, I'd say up till, like, day 5, you're good to just do what you need to do.
Let's make this mag
Especially if you're new to
kiddos.
the game. Unless you're playing on, like, Lethal Zone, which I don't suggest for, like, first runs. I do suggest green. I think it's still a good state for a newcomer. Now, I know there are those people out there that they're running their videos and they're saying, like, hey, green is terrible. Like, do not come to green zone. But I think that they've just played the game so long that for them, green zone is, like, boring and terrible. But as somebody who primarily plays in green zone, I can tell you it gets hard. All right, my people take damage, they get hurt, and I have lost people in green zone, so it is possible to have a harder time. I keep forgetting there's like 2 med rucks in there, and if I would just bring them up to the house, I wouldn't have to go looking for meds. So that we'll make that our next priority. Okay, there's one more Zed. Might as well just get that headshot while we can. We got 25 more headshots she can line up. Not too bad. Not too bad. Alright, let's go. Alright, food's in. That should secure our food a little bit more. 16 definitely. Like 4 short of 20. 20 is about where I like to sit, but 16 is not completely awful. Yeah, we need a gas can. That's what we want. What do we want? Gas can. When do we want it? Now. Okay, perfect. Got ourselves a little gas can. We're going to run down the hill and pick up the car, and then we'll consider that Latonia's 2 runs, and we'll move on to someone else. Probably gauge the rage just because I'm not done sorting this area yet, and there's still a couple more things I would like to just polish up real fast. After we polish those couple of things, turns out we have to put the fuel in Latonia before we can start it. Big ups there. After that, I think after we secure the, just polish up our stocks a little bit, I think we'll switch over to Bieber and have him do some exploring. Let's see if the car cranks. Gorgeous, let's go. Excuse me, Mr. Miss Zombie, I need to go this way. Gotta go home and get parked so we can drop this stuff off. Alright, let's just put both rucks in, because that will take care of our business.
It's time we built our home into a fortress.
And I couldn't disagree less, okay? I believe we should also build our house into a fortress, but what is it you want to do specifically? She wants to talk to Farhat about his concerns about building a lounge, and she would like to start building a lounge, but Farhat, he's not into it. Let's see what Farhat's reservations are. Okay, Farhat, you should be. That's not Gage. Yeah. I know my people. I swear. That's view beds. We're gonna need you to move over some. Here you go. He says, "Why are you wasting our resources on a lounge? Don't we have better things to build?" And I think that Hannah, of her lieutenants, I feel like Farhat scares her the most. Beeper and Gage are both non-combative. They typically don't raise issue to what she wants to do unless there is a massive issue that needs to be raised. Like, if it's going to hurt the community, they'll raise an issue, but Farhat raises an issue with everything Hannah wants to do. But don't get it twisted. Farhat is one of Hannah's biggest supporters. He's just a warlord first and foremost. So if warlord, trader, warlord, anyone clashes. Warlord, sheriff, warlord, trader. I think the only one he doesn't clash with is like Gage, because securing the base goes along with his goal of like dominating the zombie apocalypse. So I think in this case Hannah would just side with maybe you're right, because she's not gonna want to argue with Farhat. Because like I said, he scares her just a bit. He and his crew are a little bit aggressive, a little bit more forward than some of the other crews. So I think she'd just be like, "Yeah, okay, Farhat, I'm sorry I brought it up, bud. I'm terribly sorry, sir, that I dared to look in your direction, Mr. Farhat." So now we are at 16 food, 22 medicine, which both of those numbers are great. 18 gas, again secured. I'd like to now focus on ammo and on materials to continue polishing our base and getting us where we need to be. So we're looking out for ammo and materials. So we're going to go ahead and grab Mr. Gage the Rage to continue looking out for what we need to do as a community. Alright, he has seen a materials location at the Weathered Red warehouse, so I think that is where he's going to take the car next to try and secure us some more great loot. Okay, we don't have a lot of gas gauge, so maybe take it easy on the pedal. No Farhatting the car. What Farhat likes to do is just drive at top speed forever. I do like the buffs from the mechanics. We get a little bit better fuel runs, but maybe don't 100% the pedal, sir, because I'm trying to conserve our little bit of fuel. I know we gotta pop the gas station too, but gas isn't really one of our problems right now outside of containers of gas, so, and that's something we could take care of at base without having to loot. I think there's a fine balance between loot everything all the time and loot what you need and craft the rest. I've heard some disagreement in the community where there are some people out there that are like, while you can craft, you should loot your area first, and then you should craft after. And while I agree with that, on one hand, I also think that it depends on your difficulty. So if you were approaching it from the higher difficulties, yes, I could see where you would want to do it how you would do it in real life, which is scavenge absolutely everything you can, and then make the most of what you're given. Whereas on standard and green, I feel like, and maybe even the tier above standard, maybe you could get away with a little bit more cheekiness, a little bit more, taking care of your community first, and not so much worrying about looting everything that you see under the sun. For realism purposes, how I explain green and standard existing as difficulties in Apocalypse with mindless zombies is, in my opinion, green is like the first. This is very new in the Apocalypse, so while they have gone through several counties that's experiencing the Apocalypse, it's something fresh that is quote-unquote just happened. So, for them, it's not something that's been happening forever. Now they're considered old hats at this, but not for the reasons that may. Okay, get off my car. You're just being annoying. You jumped on here and now you're annoying me. Down. Thank you. Trying to talk and the zombies screaming. Where was I? Right. So how I explain again green and standard would just simply be green is like maybe the first year of the Apocalypse. Then we've got standard where like it has gotten harder to find things because they've raided a lot of the locations we're interested in. There's a lot more people trying to survive on a lot less, or a little bit less, in the case of standard, and that's kind of how I believe it goes. Yeah, Gage really doesn't want to be here fighting, but at the same time, I'm not about to hug every zombie with my face. So yeah, that's kind of how I explain green is like it's very soon, and then you have standard where people have accepted we're having an apocalypse, and they've already kind of shifted to adjust, and then you've got as each difficulty comes in, it's just longer and longer periods in it. What did you want?
I'll be right there.
Oh, you want some fuel. Okay, well, let's see if we can get an extra ruck of fuel from over here, because I'm not going to pull it from my resources to give it to you. But, you know, and if I find one, say, like right now, there you go, I'll give it to you. Fair enough. And for realism, that's just how I explain, in my own personal opinion, having more than one difficulty, and how,
No room for that.
yeah, if you hear any dogs barking or kids screaming, I apologize. The neighbor has her grandchildren over, and she just apparently has not told them ever that screaming like someone's hurting them doesn't really make the community very happy. So please just disregard any screaming or barking, because the dog who lives with us in the same house, he doesn't like it, and he expresses himself loudly, whereas my dog just kind of pulls the blanket over himself, nests up, and is like, we're good, I'm going to bed. So if you hear any dog barking or kids screaming, everything's fine, everybody's safe. It's just some neighbors that are having a good time, which I personally don't mind, especially after the last couple of years we've had. It's nice to know that people can still achieve fun. Because if nobody heard, near where we live, they are starting to put down health mandates again as far as public distancing and things like that. So I just hope that it does not get out of control. I don't want an apocalypse, to be perfectly honest. No, thank you. Anyway, back to the game. Sorry, I just thought I would make that little bit of commentary, because some people have been like, is everything good there? I'm like, yeah, everything's great. We're not going to put the gas in, because we have other uses for that, but he brought in, I think, 14 materials. I think it was 7 a bag.
Are there any helpful people in the area? I could use an assist.
It depends what you need assistance with, my good sir. If you need assistance because there is a feral 1 inch from your face, that's not quite the same thing as needing, say, like, help with looking for something or trying to find a family member. I mean, what is it you're looking for, my guy? Let's grab Beeper and find out what this guy needs. So first we're going to go to the Aimless Wanderers, who asked us for some gas, and then we'll check in with the Survivor and just make sure everything's Gucci. I know we didn't get the ammo that I said we were looking for, but I'm gonna call that good for like a minute so that I can take care of what we need to take care of. But we're just gonna reverse priorities slightly. Takes a slight step back and have Beeper come out for a minute. He's not gonna do everything I wanted him to do after, because he's still gonna need to do those responsibilities. But we're gonna have him just quickly grab these missions and take care of them. Bow wow. Is that a bloater? No, just a dead zombie. It's all good. Ooh, an hour. I didn't even realize we had gone that far. For me, it felt like 5 minutes, because again, this is one of my top 10 games, and if you're into zombies, I would suggest that you check it out. It has a lot of mechanics that I've not necessarily seen before. And it can be an interesting playthrough. Now, if you're into story games, not necessarily one I would suggest playing over and over and over and over. I play it for the interaction and for the roleplay experience more than for the story, as I've kind of already experienced all of the different aspects it has to offer. I am considering playing the add-on that I got, which is Heartland. Thank you, management. It's basically a story that I believe it came before the apocalypse. It either became like between 1 and 2 or right after. Here you go. Here's your bag.
For our research, but it might be a little gross for you. Are you in?
When Decay is trying to get everybody to play Genshin. If you guys are interested in Genshin, I think it's an interesting play. It's just not this. Looks like he's gonna have one more mission than I had planned. That's okay. He doesn't mind. Let's just hit every single fence while we're driving. That is definitely goals. Conserve the car? Nah, we don't conserve the car. We smash fences with car. Okay, travel to the lower campsite. That's our objective.
Hey, come here, will ya?
I don't like the way you're talking to me, Alvarez. I get out of the car and you're like, come here? Sir, do I know you? Like, do we have business together, Alvarez? Do I know that you exist, sir? What do you want?
You can help me get somewhere?
Do I think I could help you? Sure, I can give you a ride, bro. As long as it's... Oh, you just want to leave town? Okay, well, before we do that, is there any way I can trade with you? Oh, you're headed to Trumbull Valley. I hear it's an amazing place to live. I'm like, oh, you're part of that quest where you're trying to teach me to go to Trumbull Valley. I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard of Trumbull Valley. Beautiful area. He's just like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I can't talk to you yet. If you get it at the right time, crafters, you can trade with these guys and get some stuff out of them before they leave. If you miss it, you miss it, but I'll show you how I do it. So we get in the car, we drive them to whatever location that they want to go to. In this case, it's just like a left on the main road. Oh. I was trying to go this way, but thank you, car, for taking a left. It heard me say left, and it was like, we're making a left now. And I'm like, come on, dude. Give me a break. Let's go this way. That body is just tripping me out. Every time I pass it, I think it's a bloater, and it's not. So for me, for this distance, I tend to stop like way back here because I want to trade with him. I want to trade with him first. So let's see if he'll do it now. No, not yet. Okay, so we're gonna walk closer, checking every once in a while to see if he would be willing to trade with us. Because it's possible, unless they fixed it and patched over it. All right.
I'm still looking for the right place to put down
Cool.
roots.
So it seems like as soon as the mission changes to bid farewell to the person, you get this menu where you can say, I understand, good luck, which I believe just tells them it's cool to go. But I always use the trade with the Enclave. I mean, they're leaving town. I'm assuming they could use the funds more so than they could use whatever goods they've got on him. In this case, he's got an improvised suppressor. He's got a big old shovel, a roll of firecrackers, some energy drinks, and some painkillers. We'll take the painkillers, the energy drinks, and the firecrackers off of him, so he can have a little bit of extra cash to burn in his pockets. He's got like $300. That's not a lot, but hopefully it will help you. Okay, I understand, bud.
You went the extra
Not
mile
a
and
problem.
you've earned a reward. Here you go.
Alright, what you gonna pay me, bud? Bullets would be great, dude. A ruck of bullets would be like...
I'm out.
Okay, we'll take a ruck of food. Like, I'm not gonna diss that. We can do things with it. I was hoping he'd give me a ruck of bullets, but I don't know if that's in that loot pool. I don't think I've ever gotten a ruck of bullets from specifically him, but some NPCs give them out. Can't help but wish upon a star. Last thing I was going to do with Beaver is some search, and I think I'm just going to have my man run down there so that everything will be open, so I can go just roll straight into searching. This wasn't the order I had intended in doing it in, but it's all good. Also, I believe that, yeah, there's another, oh, that's a Hannah thing. Okay, Hannah's going to have to handle that one. That is one time that I kind of break the immersion or break the roleplay for myself, is when a character has a specific mission. In this case, Hannah is the leader, so... Hannah has to go deal with these people. On one hand, it does make sense because it says Trader: Quest, but on the other hand, I feel like I should be able to handle some quests with anyone. Now, I understand what they're going for. The leader leads. I guess just in the way it works in my brain, I have it set up with lieutenants. Not everybody does that though, so maybe that's part of the issue. Because nowhere in the meta does it say, you know, you have lieutenants and you have sub-departments. That's more a thing that I've created for myself just to keep myself organized and to also have a role for each member of my community. Military trucks are nice, Beeper, but they take a lot of gas, so maybe not. What's in this box, since I will not come back up here? 9mm, that's nice. Definitely the sauce. A lot of my people use 9mm. But we've opened up a lot more of the campsite, so Always good. Okay. Let's go ahead and hustle back down, please. Hustle back down. Please don't jump. Thank you. That is one of my biggest pet peeves with State of Decay, is when I go to use a ladder, and for whatever reason the character is just like, what is a ladder? And decides that breaking their leg or spraining their ankle or whatever consequence they come out with, depending from the height they fall, that's better than whatever I wanted to do. Which, that's a little frustrating for me. Especially when that means that person then has to go to the infirmary, because I play it to where if my character takes an injury, they're out, bro. They're out until they're taken care of. Because in reality, if you sprained your ankle or you hurt your leg, people wouldn't want you doing common jobs like emptying trash or going to work, necessarily. Why would they want you to go to Apocalypse and fight zombies? That's just how I play it, though. Let's go ahead and get that food in so that Farhat can do us a solid. We are getting a little high on food. We're at 22. I like to stay right around 20, so let's see how much it would cost to celebrate a little bit. Give Farhat some leniency. Because typically I'm on a really strict budget with my resources, so what you got, bud? Let's go over here to our kitchen and see what we can do.
You guys remember that amazing comic I was obsessing over, right? Gentlemen can
Latanya.
Got it.
Okay, so she wants to do her personal mission. That's fine.
I should track them down.
Sorry, crafters. I was grabbing a little stretch. I like how she says she wants to go look for a comic book, and Farhat's like, sure. But my leader was over here trying to do something for the community and build a lounge, and Farhat was like, absolutely not. Lounges waste our materials. And I'm like, and her running around looking for a comic book doesn't bother you? I'm telling you, man, the personalities in these games. So the first thing you can do in the kitchen, if you're not familiar with it, you can always tell them to eat less food. That's called enact rationing. It stretches our food supply to last longer. As I've got 22 food, I'm not concerned with that. I'm more interested in the prepare feast option. If you prepare a feast, you get plus 20 max stamina for 45 minutes, and also 10 morale for that 45-minute time period. It says use our food supply and cooking skills to make something special. Typically, if you have a lower tier cooking person, you will improve your cooking skills, but since Farhat is maxed, it doesn't really apply to him. But nutrition and cuisine skills and add bonuses, and he will get a bonus because he's fully maxed. So I believe it may either be more morale or like a longer period. We can also produce 2 items right now. He can prepare snacks, which we actually do need him to do. It's going to cost us 1 food. And if we wanted to make some coffee, that would cost us 2 food. I'm not ready to brew any coffee yet, but I will make 1 round of snacks for the community just to have 5 extra bags on hand, as I tend to use snacks more often than any of the other stamina restoration items. Didn't want to back out yet. We're also going to go ahead and spend 2 additional food to prepare a feast, which does take a little bit of time, and I'll let you know when it's ready. But those are some things that Farhat can do for his community that will better us. So we're going to go ahead and start Hannah's mission to see what's happening. Gage has concerns. Interesting, he usually doesn't. Speak with Jess, the abandoned soldiers. So let's see what Gage has to say to Hannah before we try to do anything. Gage, what's the problem, my man? He's like, what do these weirdos want? Gathering specimens? This is just asking for trouble. Well, she's not afraid of Farhat. I feel like the reason she would agree with him is because Gage doesn't speak up as often. So when Gage or Beeper come to her, they're coming from a sense of what's good for the community, whereas Farhat is just doing what Farhat wants. The other 2 are actually trying to help, and gathering specimens is a questionable request. So she's gonna say, "We're right. You're right. We can't take that risk." Just because, again, she respects all of her lieutenants, even Farhat, who she's a little bit more afraid of. It's just because they have different personality types. Let's grab Miss Latanya and go ahead and see where her quest lies.
Guess I better start now, huh?
Where do you want to go? Okay, you've got 3 locations all around the play cart. I'm not really concerned as we have a car, so that will be okay. If we could find a bag of, like, bullets, that would be great while we're out. But outside of that, let's go ahead and go look for your silly gentleman cadaver. Or is this this is new. Wait a minute. She's not looking for the gentleman cadaver. She's tracking down the man she saw carrying a sword from it. What? I've never seen this mission. Hold on. New mission. Let's go. That's exciting. Usually she wants me to go find the dang comic book,
I
bro.
would not want to know what makes plague territory smell this bad.
Coffee can be good. Is it because I said coffee? Is that what happened? I'm sorry if I made you go brew some coffee. Yep. Hi, Mr. Bloater. No, thank you. 2 shots. Why are you failing? Why are you failing this exam of shooting? Lock and load and stop it now. I gotta wait for the bloater to clear out so we can step in there for half a second. Ba ba ba. Anybody else want to come to the shooting range? Oh, you do? Fantastic. Great for me. Again, we're still trying to get her shooting up, so.
Hey, stranger. Pardon the interruption, but I've got an offer you
Every
might
time I
wanna
leave the
hear.
house,
Let's meet up.
somebody wants me to be at my house. Whether it's a siege or somebody... Oh, there's literally a second bloater in there. Alright, let's go ahead and pop that bad boy. It's gonna take a while. Let's see what else is around the area. I didn't see the second bloater, but I usually try to look before I step in. You see one bloater, you might have another. Let's check out this house. The yellow house. We're gonna run like 2 boxes here, and then we'll go back to see if that is the place that she saw a man running around with a sword.
What I wanted, but it'll do.
We'll take the boombox because I have room. I know I said earlier it's not priority. If I decide I don't want it, I'm just gonna throw it on the floor. Just gonna chuck it on the floor. Oh, some health. Well, I won't say no to that. Or the bandages. I did say we need a rucksack of ammo, but a rucksack of meds will do just fine. Mainly because we can use the meds to make other things. I won't put them in right now, but having them does not necessarily hurt the community. As, you know, we're going to get boo-boos, we're going to get scrapes. We're also going to take serious injuries and need to remedy that. Looks like there's some food in here as well. Farhat will be very happy to find out that we have more food. Just lets him do what he does best, which is take care of the community. Yeah, I did like 4 boxes. I think that's more than enough. Love how I said 2 and I did 4. Don't worry about the little details, crafters. That's living life is about living life. Excuse me, I have to hydrate. Alright, now that I've hydrated, I feel a little bit better. Nope, that wasn't even the place. Oh well, we got paid for both those bloaters. So Hannah's happy, even if that wasn't where we needed to be. She doesn't care where you get the influence, just bring it home. And she will not ask questions where you got it either. Oops, excuse me. That's a juggernaut. Don't want that.
No sudden movements around these folks.
Seems a little
okay?
early for a juggy. Just my opinion. Definitely seems early for that. Ooh, the double tap was not necessary, my girl. That was a waste of yet another bullet, but I guess
Let's
Gage
make
will
this
just
man
find
count,
more.
kiddos.
It's what he does. Alright, let's go. Is it in here? The man with the sword. He is! There's a man with a sword. Fantastic. Man with a sword. Your name's Broadway. He says, hey, I've seen you before. Are you following me? I'm like, you have to tell me where you got that sword.
Made swords based on movies and stuff. He's gone now, but I could tell you where he worked.
Okay. He doesn't know where the guy is, but he knows where he used to work.
We all have military and tactical training. We'd like to help you, if you can afford our services.
Real metal workers are so rare these days, it sucks that my neighbor died and took all his knowledge with him. I'm like, at least we can put his work to good use. And the guy's just like, good luck. I'm like, okay.
Stay safe.
Apparently that's it. So I need to go search the metal worker's house, I suppose? The metal worker's garage. Okay. Fair enough. That means passing that juggy again. Oh, good. Maybe that's why there's a juggy in the middle of the road. To annoy me. I'd say to scare me, but juggernauts do not scare me anymore. And some people are like, well, that's strange. They're really bad and they can rip your people in half. I'm like, yeah, but that's if you, like, if you don't play safely. Yes. I hear you screaming, bud. I hear you, but I need to go. Oh, that's a feral. Oh, what is this right now? Absolutely not, bro. Feral's done, though. That's why my people are all skilled up. It was a simple shot to the head and no more feral issues. If you guys are new to the game and don't know, there are classes of freaks which are not your average zombies. Some people claim that the blood plague zombies are freaks as well. I disagree with that statement, but just so you know, there are zombies. Zombies that have been contaminated with blood plague, those are the red zombies. And then we have our freak classes. Starting with the smallest freak, for me, it would be the little skinny guys on two legs, the screamers. They're like an alert dog. They basically let the other Zeds know, know that you're there, and they tend to call in other Zeds. Don't worry, he can't come in here. We're all good. I'm going to be shutting that, sir, because I would like to search this real fast before you try to punch me. Sweet, we got a excavator? Guess that's like Excalibur. Anyway, so that's the screamers. Then we have the bloaters. Those are the guys with green skin that I popped a couple of at the other location. They're filled with poisonous gas, and if they explode near you, they do damage to your character. Then we have what I just shot, which was the feral. Ferals are on all four legs. They run really fast, and they hit really hard. They can cause injuries and other nasty things. And lastly, the big guy that you saw at the window. His name is the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut smashes your survivor and has a barrage of attacks that he can use, and they're all really not nice. They are, in my opinion, sort of easy to take down when they're not filled with blood plague. At the higher difficulties, they're filled with blood plague, which makes them harder. That goes for all the freaks. The freaks become contaminated with blood plague, but that doesn't happen again until you hit the higher levels. So that's just a rundown of anybody who's new. Like you'd see on my mini-map, there's the little like echolocation symbol with two legs. That means screamer. That's one of the freaks we just discussed. We're going to go back home and talk to Brady, who came by while we were out. And then we're going to put these materials in, and we will use them, so there's no concerns there. We'll drop that weapon in there, and maybe somebody will use it if it's decent. I'll look at the stats later and figure that out. For newcomers, we do need to grab our leader. Our leader actually has a mission that Farhat opposes. Imagine that, him opposing something. How refreshing, Farhat, that you have a new opinion, sir. Anyway, we got to talk to Brady first.
Is that true?
He's like, you got a place with walls and food. I'm like, yeah, sure, sounds like my base, dude. You know what, why don't you come on in, Brady?
But it's better than the alternative.
Yo, thank you
Hannah-
for taking me in. Seriously.
Hannah's policy in the apocalypse is to recruit first, ask questions later. So if somebody comes to her and says, hey, I need a bed, hey, I need some food, I need a safe place to stay, she says, we are the place, come on in, put your stuff over there. Then there's the personality assessment, and that's done by like Farhat. He takes a look at the person and he decides whether or not they should be allowed to stay in the community. There are several sections on the card that Farhat looks at, and these are coming from directions given to Farhat by me, obviously. But these are things that I think you should be aware of any survivor. So here's what we look at. We look at their health and stamina. That's the first thing we open. 156 health, 133 stamina. Please remember that I do have buffs in the community, so this is probably higher than what Brady's average stamina is, but this is what he's going to be able to do with my community as it is how it's set up right now. 156 health, 133 stamina. 120, 120 is what I consider good, so 156, 133 with the buffs, fantastic. He's a recruit, and he says he goes under the trader. For me, that's a giant red flag, as I only keep one trader at a time, but I'm willing to hear him out. He can go what we call the box, which is on your main menu. You can store up to 50 survivors for use. And basically, I might throw him in the box if he's decent, but he's a recruit. It says people don't really know me yet, but they will. And that's true. When you come in, this is what it looks like. It just basically shows their leadership. This is their style, trader. And that's all you get to know. Two things. You can have up to 4 things in this box. I think it's like 4 or 5. I believe it's hard capped at 4, though, not 5. He says he's a food sharer, which means that minus 25 food consumed per day. when I first saw food share, I thought food share meant more like he was taking my food and giving it to other people. But what it actually means is he's more like, yeah, he's not interested in eating it, so instead of wasting the food, he's sharing the food. The other thing he says about himself is he's a stylist, which leads into his fifth skill of hairdressing. So that's the next thing we address. What is your fifth skill, and is it something that I consider important? Hairdressing, for those of you who do not know, provides 10% influence gained for your community and the knowledge of chemistry. If I didn't have top tier chemists in the box already, I probably would be like, this is pretty good, this is decent. But 10% influence gained really doesn't do a whole lot of nothing. It doesn't do it for me. Some people swear by it, but for me personally, the income bump is not substantial enough to care about influence gained, even at 30-40%. I don't care. And because I already have chemists, Brady for me is going to be a wash. What I consider a wash is somebody that's not going to the box and not staying in the community, meaning they will be exiled.
What up?
Our next step to exile, if we were accepting him, he would just stay. But since we're not, we just open him up, grab his inventory, take his backpack and his supplies, and then tell him that we can't do this. If you guys don't know how to do that, you go to your community tab, which is part of your everything that you look at. You want to make sure you see the name and all the people. Then you want to, I don't know what it is on PC, but on Xbox, it's hold X to exile the survivor. You don't want to hold Y, because that will send them to the legacy pool, so you need to make sure you're choosing the option that you want. The legacy pool is what I refer to as the box, whereas exiling the survivor says, I don't want this person, and they can leave. It will tell you to confirm that you want to mark them for exile. It says you need to approach them and deliver the bad news in person. And you just say, yes, I absolutely want to do that. Now you see he's got a little triangle above his head that just basically means he's the one. He's the person that we're doing the action to. We're going to select him. And he says, how's it hanging? And let's see what Hannah has to say back. There is a warning screen, a second warning screen that says, exile survivor. Are you sure you want to kick the survival out of your community? Exiling survivor is permanent. You can't get the survivor back. So don't do this unless you're 1,000% sure this is your decision. For me it is, so I'm going to go ahead and
I
confirm.
hope you can forgive me for this. I have to ask you to leave.
Oh, that's sweet, Hannah. She says, I hope you can forgive me for this.
I get it. Don't blame yourself.
I wasn't planning on blaming myself, Brady. They have a number of responses. Some are nicer than others. Some are very aggressive. Some people even threaten to come back to your community. I personally wish that would be a mission that would pop up, that maybe somebody you exile brings a small group to against you, but that's not in the game yet. It's just something some of us want to see to provide some more depth to those threats, because as of right now, they make the threat and you forget about it. We'll go ahead and drop his stuff off and then see what her mission is. Right, Farhat was opposing, so we need to speak with Farhat and find out why.
Citizens are instructed to relocate to area designated Trumbull Valley at their earliest convenience.
Just letting Cleo talk for a
Sorry,
minute.
folks. Just a little radio malfunction there. Please, go about your business.
We don't need any help. We're strong enough on our own. Why throw away precious resources? You can see there's a trend where Farhat is obsessed with our resources. I don't know why my boy is so obsessed, but I think it's mainly because it doesn't fall into his mindset. So his mindset is search, destroy, repeat, not search, give stuff away, repeat. So she does have a couple of options. Just to let you know, if you ever choose the disagree option, basically tell whoever your survivor is, I hear what you're saying, but I don't care. They will get a disgruntled or upset mood with you, and you will be able to see it in your community, and they will basically tell you that they don't appreciate you disagreeing with them. It does have a timer, and it does go away. It's not permanent. It's not like making a decision is going to make them hate you for all of eternity. But there are times where survivors will see that you went against them, and they will not like that, and for a time they'll actually hurt your morale because you basically rubbed them the wrong way. I just wanted to throw that in as an actual mechanics tip. In this case, like I said, she has a very personable relationship with Farhat, but there's also that element of, you're a warlord, and you may overthrow me, so you know what, you're right, we don't need their help. I guess Farhat's got it covered, I suppose. The only other thing that came in was the Trumbull Valley Trader. She's on the map 30 minutes, I believe. She's down to 26, but she's across the map from where we are. We're over here in the top right corner. She's on the top left. That's just too far for me to want to track for a trader, so no thank you. Alright, our next position is always checking where we're at. So right now we have 22 medicine and 19 food, and we're actually over by 4 materials, so we're going to want to commission someone to upgrade something. A lot of people go right in and they upgrade their storage when they're like noticing that they're hitting the 25, because it's 25 storage for all resources when you take a base, with some exceptions. We'll go over the exceptions when we hit them, but this is 25 storage for all resources at every base, and yeah, I just don't upgrade it right away. This is not a permanent build for me, and storage resets with every base you go to, so I don't tend to do that. What I tend to do is things like upgrading my command center to a tier 3. One, that's why the lady is here for electronics, and two, the command center's level does transfer base. Unlike the storage where it resets every time, you keep the level of your command center. So right now, we have a 3 outpost limit. We can find resources, survivor in towns. Map exits are now unlocked, so we can go to another map if we want to. And there's a 406.25 meter passive scouting range. It's also unlocked some options in here. One of the options is to mod the command center. And one of the options is to do a friendly broadcast. Reach out to anyone listening and talk long enough to earn a little influence. You'll basically earn more influence after that timer's done. What I thought this card meant when I first started playing was that the broadcast lasts for 10 minutes. That's not the case. That 10-minute timer applies to how long it takes to apply the friendly broadcast to your base. So you'll have to wait 10 minutes for the broadcast to basically disperse, and then you'll have a second timer that will tell you how long that broadcast is good for. I don't remember how long the length is, I apologize, but I just wanted to make it clear that the timer on the card is not the timer of the length of the broadcast. We're going to go ahead, we have met all the metrics for upgrading to tier 3, so we're going to go ahead and get that done. You cannot apply a mod while you're upgrading, fun fact. But that will go ahead and place us below on our count for materials, so we're going to go ahead and find other things to do while that's upgrading. Because that typically signals the end of Lataya being with us, we're going to go ahead and grab her and continue to use her character, as soon as that Command 3 outpost hits, I tend to go ahead and send her back to the box so we can get somebody else in. Fantastic, we're getting a zombie threat. Prepare for the next 30 seconds. Alright, do I have any other guns? No. Do I have any more ammo for this gun? No. So she's got essentially 12 headshots in her pocket, and after that it's going to be melee. Since it is going to be melee and she does not have a melee weapon, can I ask why? Oh, she's close combat. Alright, fair enough. Well, I was just checking to make sure I didn't mess up management. You know that I have my mind, and my mind is not always on point. So I gotta check myself before I wreck myself. Alright, these typical beginning sieges, 60 seconds, not a problem. So, 60 seconds. I love Hannah during these sieges. She stands back there and screams at everyone, we're gonna do this. Like, she empowers everybody in the community. She's a great leader. I love her personality. I love the way she handles things. She absolutely is always there for the community. And she's like, is it over yet? And I'm like, no, Hannah. Let's go back to supporting, sweetie. It's not over yet, but it will be soon. About 25 more seconds and we're out of here. Get a couple of headshots there. Alright, you can hear everybody in my community basically doing callouts. They're a very supportive community type. That's part of why I've kept these characters. None of my characters are really selfish, except for but this is my Blood Plague survivor, so I give him a little extended courtesy, I guess, as far as his personality. Did I really miss that, bro? Oh, they performed a door thing. There you go, $200 in our pocket, zombie threat at home accomplished. Nothing but a thing. She's down to 3 bullets, but that's still 3 more headshots she could achieve. Did she get any shooting? She has gone from nothing on the gunslinging front to 4 points of gunslinging, so I'm happy with that. Let's check our timer. It's going to be 12 minutes, so we can have her go out and run around for 12 minutes. Let's see what we're going to prioritize. Honestly, I'm happy with all of our levels except bullets, so it's time to bite the bullet and go to where I know bullets are again, which should be unlocked this time. It should, like, basically we should know where it is. Oh, that's why it's all covered up. There's an enclave there. Question, can I still search there if there's an enclave sitting in my way? Or do I have to, like, scare them? Hashtag, I will totally have Farhat go over there and remove them if they're in the way. I'm not even playing around. He'll have them leave. Don't care who they are. I will, like, buy everything from them first and take all their money. Can I search it? Can I search anything in here? I need a bag of bullets. I need it now, and you may be in my way. Hello. It's not looking good for the searching. Absolutely nothing to search. You guys really had to take this place. Out of all of the places you could have taken, you took this place. Great. Thank you. It is the place that has bullets, so yeah, for me it's a bad place. Do I have threaten? No, I don't even have threaten. Why are you guys here? The frustration is real. I can't get the bullets out of this place, and this is one of the early places to raid. And I can't threaten them because they're the special enclave you get with the trader mission, so I believe that's why it's blocking me from threatening them. Do you guys have any bullets for sale then, since you're hoarding them?
No, that sounds about right.
You have everything under the sun except bullets. They are selling multiple rucksacks, but they've got like medicine and fuel and materials and everything that I've already secured for myself. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate that. That's definitely doing me a solid right there. I will give you 75 for the 3 weapon remains, because that's quite a bit of parts. We'll take that off you, but you just couldn't bring yourselves to sell me bullets, huh? Shy? Is that your name? Is that how you say that, bud? Frustration. Okay. We're gonna have to depend on either a play card or a later place then. Can I get these out of here? How do I get Red Legend? There we go. So I want to see what I'm rating. Yep, really none of them are gonna give up. The only other thing I can think of is maybe our other enclave has a ruck. It's a far shot, but it's possible. Each enclave typically does run like 1 or 2 rucks, maybe. Sometimes, occasionally. So we can ask them if they have one. There's also a mission that just popped up that may or may not generate it. Some do, some don't. Like I said, there's one where they give you like 3 different options, and one of them is ammo, so that would definitely be something we could be potentially interested in doing. Let's go see if the Aimless Wanderers got us first. Hey guys, do you happen to have a bag of bullets? You have materials and gas. Okay, at least they had rucks. They're just not rucks we're potentially interested in. Do you have anything I want to buy? Not at these prices. You guys are allied, and you're supposed to be giving me like the best prices on the market. But 2 cans of gas, $40 each for a can of gas. Like, I would rather just go resource gas. $22 for a cup of coffee. Again, just not happening. And you guys are allied, huh? That's a shame. Those prices are just, in my opinion, too high. An allied is supposed to give you, like, really good rewards. So, again, if you guys don't know, there's different stages to the communities, or the enclaves that you face. The worst one to get would be hostile. That means they don't like you at all, and they're going to try to take you out. They're not going to come to your base as of right now, but if you go near them, they will engage you, and they will do their best to try to remove you. Above that, there's cold, which means that they are not hostile, but they don't like you, and they're going to overcharge you for goods because they have a negative opinion of you. For whatever reason, whether it's you didn't help them with something they asked for, or in some cases they do spawn in on the map. But if you don't help them, they have a very good chance of becoming cold. Above cold, we have neutral. That's what most enclaves spawn in as. They don't know you, you don't know them. You need to build a relationship to kind of move along. After neutral, we have friendly. That means you've performed an action or done something to merit them liking you, and they tend to give you a little bit of a discount on some goods, some situations, and you can recruit them for money to basically come on into your community if you need them. And the top tier is allied. Allied means it's free for you to ask them to come to your community. and there are supposed to be top tier discounts. And they also provide a bonus for your community. I'll pull up my menu and show you what I mean right now. I have to find it where it is, but it is in here somewhere. Everything that happens to your base, you are informed about. Maybe community. It did say allied for them, so I'm just not seeing it. But it's supposed to tell you in one of those menus. I'm not sure where it is, but if you go to them, it will show you. So these guys are saying they're allied. Oh, there you go. So they say their enclave benefit for being allied is caravans, and it says in parentheses what that does. Fuel efficiency bonus. So we've got our mechanic Beeper giving us a fuel efficiency bonus, and the aimless wanderers are basically tacking extra. You can see that they offer more to trade, lower prices, and other helpful benefits at the allied tier.
I'm on the move.
Let's
Don't
go find
go
out what the
anywhere.
mysterious broadcast was all about. Yep, again, just trying to hit you with some of the knowledge sticks, in case you didn't know. Where are you, buddy? You're that way. Okay, fair enough. Let's go. These are all just mechanics that you need to keep in the back of your mind. It's not something that you have to be like on top of 24/7, but definitely it helps if you know different things. Like now that I know what their enclave bonus is, I'm gonna be very interested in keeping them allied, because that is an enclave bonus that I like. Sometimes you get enclave bonuses and you're just like, meh. I don't want that. I don't need that. Go away. But sometimes you can get some pretty good situations. Oh, right. There was a note that I wanted to add for friendly enclaves. There are a few enclaves that spawn that are special enclaves that they come in as friendly. And I'm not going to spoil what they are or why it's terrible, but just know that if an enclave comes in as friendly, you may want to have a second look at the enclave. Especially if you do missions for them and they're not like leveling up or tiering up for you. If they're not going allied after you've done stuff for them, or their dialogue's a little sus, just have a second look. That's all I'm gonna say. Just a side note. After some things I have experienced while playing the game, if somebody's being overly nice, it's like how it is in real life. They have something to hide. That's why they're being
Locked
nice.
up tight.
Alright, so we're inspecting the bodies of the abandoned soldiers because we didn't get here in time. Hopefully one of the abandoned soldiers just stabs some bullets on him. That would be great. I would love that. And I don't mean loose bullets. I mean a bag of bullets. Now, I don't see a ruck on her back, so probably not. But pile of weapon remains, not bad. I'm not going to take one light bolt. That's just kind of offensive. A machete, 2.5 pounds. That's a little too heavy for my liking. A hiking backpack. If I wasn't set with my crew already, I would take that, but I don't really need it, and I'm not going to take it just to sell it right now. Let's try person number 2. I don't think I'm going to get lucky with a ruck, but you never know. Got another weapon remain. That's a decent grenade. I won't turn that away. But similar setup to your friend. You've got a Kuriki, which is 3 pounds, again, too heavy, and a 1 light bolt. I'm not going out of my way for that. I believe this is the last person. Okay, there's a note. We're going to take that because that's part of the story. And then, I'm good. I'm just okay. I'm fine. Thank you, though. I don't need a damaged gun with limited bullets. So basically, it turns out somebody was responsible in this story, in this particular mission. We need to now go search the Peeling Bull shed for the person who killed the abandoned soldiers. You really had to take an energy drink right now, huh? You had to do it. That was my fault for having it on there. Be careful with your stamina items, guys. They will take them if they don't need them, if it's like an energy drink or like a stabilizer, or I forget what it's called, but it's like the next tier up. They're really high tier products that you don't really want to mess it around, but I just did, so don't do what I did. Do what I said. A lot better, I promise. Alright, get out. Let's go. Yeah, it ran out right in time, but it's okay because Beeper has gunslinging. And Beeper does not care about hordes of zombies running at him because he has a gun that holds a lot of rounds. And there's a reason that each and every person is geared the way they are. They're kitted out the way they are because it's the best way that I've found to run them as a character. Alright, this person named Hammond is the person who eliminated the abandoned soldiers. Let's go ahead and confront her, I believe. Yep, her. What do you want? Says Hammond. And we've got multiple options here. Options with red text typically can result in a hostile action. So you see there's two different kinds. So the first one says we can try to recruit Hammond, bring her into our community. It's yellow text. That means it's a positive for us. The other three options are red text. That indicates something bad's going to happen if you click on that. Either somebody's going to become frustrated with you. Typically, it means they're going to become hostile and start attacking you. But the other outcome is that they can leave town. You notice that the middle two options say may become hostile, which means that she can either decide to leave town or she can decide you're not worth a slice of bread and start firing on you. The bottom one says will become hostile. That one's guaranteed. If you pick that one, it's guaranteed to result in them becoming hostile, which means they're going to go from 0 to 100 and basically become a threat to you. Again, there's 4 options with this. The top one says, I'm impressed by how you took out the abandoned soldiers. We could use your skills. Beeper would never say that. He's a sheriff and he believes all life is valuable. So, especially somebody called the abandoned soldiers, he would consider that, like, hey, they could have been useful to us. And he would be very dissatisfied, very displeased that Hammond did what she did. There's no place in this town for someone like you. Take a hint and move on. That's a valuable option for him. Viable. Not valuable, but valuable works as well, I guess. That's a valid option for him just because, like I said, he believes human life is sacred, and you taking the life of someone is not cool. Drop the crossbow and get out of town now. That would also be another valid option because it's not really threatening, but it is direct. Lastly, you're too dangerous to let live, prepare to die. That is something my warlord would say, but not necessarily something Beeper would say. I think personally, he would go with the third option, drop the crossbow and get out of town now, because he's giving her an ultimatum. Basically, he's saying, we don't want you here, we don't need you here, and what you've done, well, it doesn't warrant death in his opinion, it does warrant an action of consequence. So we're going to go with the third one. And she's decided to leave. So she's giving us her crossbow, and she's walked out. And Bieber's like, wow, this is a really nice crossbow. I wonder who made it and if they're taking orders. He's like, we need another one of these. Hannah says, good call. Nobody wants a killer like that in our town. Typically, when you make a choice like that, you will get a reaction from your community. In this case, our leader approved of what Beeper did, which is going to make Beeper feel good. And the truth is, I was pretty sure Hannah would go for that because it's not a bad option. Sometimes missions are a little too far, and as you saw, I just looked at that, and it's not near where I want to be. So I'm not going to be taking it. Just absolutely not. You can see there's wandering hordes everywhere now. Farhat's going to need to get a move on. So when we go back, we're actually going to be taking our warlord out for a little bit because, as if you didn't hear the voiceover, Beeper said there's too many infestations in this town, which is like a verbal cue that your community is uncomfortable about the level of infestations, and you need to do something. So I shall do something. No worries, Mr. Beeper. But before I let you go inside, you're going to need to send all that stuff in for processing. Not the meds yet. No, we don't have a need for that right now. Welcome in if you haven't been welcomed already. Sorry, I've just been chatting and haven't been checking my my numbers. But if you've been here for a minute, thank you so much for being here anyway. Alright, let's grab Mr. Farhat and take a look at what we're doing. I swear I just saw 2 hordes. I swear I did. They're not there, but there are infestations south of us that are apparently causing everyone to be upset. Now, in my opinion, they're too far away, but my community does not agree with me, and they're like, they're a problem. So, since they say they're a problem, they are a problem. Let's see if I can use the workbench to sort out any Molotovs, because I don't personally have any. Nope, not at stage 1. How many materials do we have? Plenty. Let's go ahead and upgrade this so next time he'll have Molotovs to work with. If you don't know, there are limits per each stage of building, and one of the limits of a workshop is, while it does repair and salvage tools right off the bat, it doesn't craft the gear that you will be most interested in until you upgrade some. So we're going to start that upgrade, and then we are going to go do a 1,500 meter drive and go handle some business. You notice I didn't give him anything. It's because I wanted Molotovs, but they weren't available. So, in lieu of Molotovs, he's just going to go down there and do a ton of what he does. It's what he lives for. I used to think this was like the longest drive in all of Tarnation. Yeah, I hear you, Farrell. I do, bud, but right now I'm going somewhere. But it turns out this drive is actually from north to south on this map. It's not as bad as some of the other maps.
I've got blood plague and won't last. But I've got good stuff here. Come by if you can.
Oh, I just lost my door. Well, I guess I hurt my car a little too much. It was probably all those dang fences. Sir? Oh, that's the blood money quest. Yeah, Farhat will have a problem with that too, I'm sure. He just raises an issue with any of the trader quests. That one she might overrule him just because there's a time and a place. Like, what are you gonna argue? The person has blood plague, we might get hurt. Well, then we'll send you. You're immune. Like, really, that would be my answer as a leader. Would be, well, you're immune, so guess who just got voluntold? Alright, 3 screamers, 10 Zets, just the way he likes it. Knock knock.
I gotta make sure it's dead.
Alright, that's all the screamers. Now it's just clean up. Would have been a lot easier with a molly, but we'll make do. That sounds like a juggernaut outside. I'm really hoping it's not, but it probably is. Let's open the door. Hello? Hello, Juggernaut, sir? Are you here? Are you here with us now? I don't see you.
Like we've damn near cleared the whole town of infestations.
There is a spawn down here. Yeah, of course, he's over there. Okay. Yeah, hi. Hello, sir.
Secure this place with a plague
Don't really want to deal with you right now. Didn't bring this stuff to do you right now. But we are gonna go south, and he'll probably take out the play card too, just for giggles and laughs. Bow chicka bow wow, bow chicka brown cow.
Outpost in town.
Let's go go go. Only one screamer? Shame. Not as much fun.
That's not good.
Only 3 left after all that shooting. And your weapons broke? Boy. I guess it is about time for a refresh. Not what I want to be doing with my materials for sure. All done? All done. Okay. Again, if you don't know about weapon grades, white means the weapon's functional, yellow means that it's going to be broken soon. It's basically giving you like a warning stage. Red means it's broken and you're not going to use that gun.
Screamer.
It's not going to
This
happen.
could get noisy.
So I need to limit my gun usage for a minute. Fair enough. But yellow's just basically like a yellow light. It tells you to slow down, it tells you maybe think about your actions a little bit better. Unless you know that there is going to be a stopping point. Nope. Got you through the bush. Absolutely not. We're not doing screamer time right now. It's kittycraft time, not screamer time. Go ahead and knife all of those zombies out, and then we'll mark the actual wildebeest, which is the plague heart.
Okay, time for a close encounter.
I'll show you guys the melee option, since we don't have the gun durability that I would like right now. So what you do is you beat on the play card. Now, for play cards in standard and green, where am I going? Oh yeah, in play cards standard and green, the zombies die upon deletion of the play card. So once you terminate the play card, you don't have to worry about the Zeds. After standard, I believe, that's no longer the case. So use it while you can. Use it to your advantage while you've got it. Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to talk right now. You guys are frustrating me. Come here. Go sit down. But this is the melee option. So you're going to have a zombie spawn. After you whack-a-doodle do it and you get it to go bleh, you basically have to deal with the zombies. Two methods. One, ignore them. Two, murk them. I do like a 50-50, so I put them over there. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get a few more whacks on the play card real fast. You could obviously clear them all. Green, come in here. On green, it's pretty easy to get to stage 2. So, because I know I'm in green, I'm going stage 2. And then I'm going to draw the Zeds away again. It's up to you if you want to murk them all, or if you feel comfortable and confident enough to not. Kind of up to you what goes on. No stamina, no problem. There you go. We'll give him one of your snacks you made. I forgot to put him in the box, so he just had him on him, which actually worked out for us. Farhat is one of the heavier characters in my playthroughs because he carries the shovel on his back, because he's powerhouse. If all of that was foreign language to you, I will explain after this one. But just know that he's heavy, that's why his stamina drains. Very, very bad. Stamina drain, no. Stamina drain, bad. We need to combat stamina drain. That's what stamina items are for. Again, if you're green, I'm just trying to help you out, teach you some things that I learned the hard way. And I would like to make it so you don't have to learn them the hard way. Because had someone told me some of these things in a way that I understood, my life probably would have been a lot easier. A lot quicker. But like management just said, that's dead on. That's pretty much anything. It's whatever hobby or thing you're trying to get into, there's always a chance of you learning stuff and it being better. So let's go ahead and finish this off. There's 3 waves, I believe, for hearts, so done 2. Hit that with that powerhouse. Because it's on green, it goes right away. You will have to hit it more if it's a higher difficulty, but what do we win? We won materials. That's not really what I wanted. I wanted ammo, but I mean, thank you, sir. I will take it, I guess. We'll take the Raider's gun for the bullets and to sell the gun. The Raider's gun, the reason I don't like it, I will show you right now. Most guns, most assault machine guns in this run, in this game, when you aim them, they have an option to switch the fire mode. The Raider is one of the guns that is full automatic and does not switch from that status. What automatic means as opposed to burst or single fire is that it's going to fire 3 bullets or multiple bullets at once. Burst is like 2 at a time, and then you got single fire mode. I'll show you all these modes on this gun. You can see that my gun that he uses, it has the 3 modes. There's full auto in the bottom right hand corner. There's burst mode with 2, and then there's single bullet. I prefer single bullet. It just does the mostest with the hostess. But, I mean, if that's not your cup of tea, well, alrighty then. Let's take a look at what my community needs real fast. We have a pool on food, which has been minimized, but it's still a pool on food, and a pool on nothing else. So, but knowing that we have limited ammo, I would ask if there was an ammo place down here, which I don't think there is. I know there's a medical place right there, and there's also a very special site. Before we leave, I'm going to drive over the special site. This is not what I'm taking, but I want to show it to you guys. Don't worry, I didn't forget that I was going to explain other things. Just have to remember which things I was going to explain. Oh yeah, something to do. Oh yeah, powerhouse and stuff. Okay, I'll explain that in 1 second. Just let me drive to the church first. I didn't forget. I know I said I would explain it to you guys. I'm not gonna get a car through there. I guess. Can I fit the Can I force the car through there? No. Do I care? Nah. Well, we'll be all right. Far I can walk. All right, buddy. Time to get your steps in. Let's go. So essentially, like how I read it off in the beginning, every survivor has a set of skills, and those skills kind of determine what their setup should be, as far as what weapons you give them and whatnot. As soon as we get to the church, I will continue explaining, but that's the basics of it. Is that each survivor is gonna have 4 skills, 4 main skills that determine their lifestyle choices. and one skill that determines, I call it usefulness, but technically the fifth skill is like their position in the community, what they do for you, really. And you could go your whole life without adding a fifth skill if that's what you want to do. Some people come with one, some people don't. But let's get in here. And we'll just go over it real quick. I promise I won't take too long for those of you guys who already know. Fifth skill, basically, again, it's kind of their position. So in this case, Farhat, we'll use him as an example. He's got cooking. Now, I know that says nutrition, not cooking, but it's because you start most fifth skills, there's two options. There's a 1-star, which basically comes in and that's what you're getting. Or there's one with multiple stars where you can build it like any of your other skills. And in this case, that's what he's done. He's taken cooking and he's plussed it up all the way to nutrition. And then he's plussed nutrition up all the way to get additional benefits out of the cooking skill. So what I mean by the fifth skill is basically like their workmanship skill is that he has cooking, therefore he's my cook. He's my chef. He prepares the meals. He takes care of the food and the food resource and managing it for my community. So that's what the fifth skill is for. The other skills are like life skills, I guess you'd say. At the top, you've got, I have to try to think of what they're called. Cardio is the first skill. You can go multiple directions. Again, we're going to use Farhat for this example. He's gone powerhouse. What powerhouse means is that he can use a big boy weapon proficiently. He can use a heavy weapon proficiently. So that's what I chose for him because, as you saw, he beat on the heart and it didn't take him that long. Now again, as difficulty goes up, so does the time to efficiently use a heavy or efficiently use whatever you're using because it has more health. But on green, it's very fast and he can just power through it with Powerhouse. Tier 2 is, I believe this is your, I can't remember what it's called, but this is your wits. There we go. It's your wits skill. So your second skill is your wits skill. Again, you can go multiple directions. He's decided to use stealth. What stealth means is that when he's crouching, he can run. He has a faster search speed, and there's some other bonuses like he can perform stealth kills and other things. It basically just means he's quieter. Quiet interactions and reduced visibility to enemies is what stealth does for you. For my warlords, that is like the key. It's the key to the cookie jar. It basically makes them be able to get in and out of areas quickly and quietly. You would think I would give it to everyone, but I play a little differently if you guys haven't noticed. Then we got your fighting. I've chosen close combat. It means that if he's not going to use his big boy weapon on his back, I wanted him to have a proficient melee skill. So this is using your close combat weapon, which is a weapon that never takes damage, never breaks. And so that's what I chose for him was close combat, and basically to be able to get standing enemy kills with a knife so that he can do that if his weapon breaks or if he is just overwhelmed and needs to be able to take care of things quickly. There's a lot of other perks. I'm just covering this quickly. Lastly, for shooting, he went with gunslinging. What gunslinging does is those instant headshots. And for him, this is a lethal combination that basically no matter what weapon he's picked up, what weapon he's holding, he's just a domination target. Alright, I hope that clears it up for any of you guys who were confused about what that means or why I would go in and be like, oh, my gun doesn't work? That's fine. I'm good. Everything's covered. Anyway, I just need to find the little stand. Oh, I forgot. Okay, when you enter a building, you have to secure it first. What secure it means is on the minimap you see little squares. You gotta boop the squares. 2 seconds while I boop the squares. Then we'll get into the guts of this building and why it's a special building.
Somebody else.
Boom, boom, boom. Alright, so this is the New Hope Church. It's the potential landmark outpost, which I consider to be called a special building. You get one per map. So this is the one for this map. It's called New Hope Church. You can see on the right side there's some strategies. It's going to cost you $500 to take over this outpost, and it will tell you how many slots available. In my case, I have 4 because I've done my upgrades. I will have 6 once I fully upgrade it, but that's not really important right now. On the right side, you can see, again, 3 strategies. I will go ahead and read these. I'm sorry if it's a little bit snooze for some of you guys, but for those of you guys who don't know, I want to get this information out so you don't have to wonder what this does or why it's important. Again, I don't really want it, but there are a lot of people that swear by these potential landmark outposts. They say they make or break it on higher difficulties. Again, I typically play in green and standard, so they're not as big a deal for me as they would be if I were up there at like lethal or something. So it says with the shelter strategy, which is the first strategy, the church provides an extra four indoor beds. We also gain a morale boost when threat is low. However, when threat is high, we get a morale penalty due to leaving our base less protected. So that's what the shelter strategy does. It's all about providing shelter and safety. Next up, you got the Sanctum strategy. With the Sanctum strategy, the New Hope Church offers a safe, quiet hangout spot where survivors can enjoy morale-boosting leisure activities. That basically means if your morale is low, you can use this building to kind of, in my opinion, passively kind of buff your morale. And the last one is the Stronghold strategy. With the Stronghold strategy, we can use the elevated towers of the New Hope Church to provide sniper and recon support over the radio. Additionally, we can spend labor to post guards here and reduce the threat of zombie sieges. I think this is the one that a lot of people are saying is going to come in clutch when they do release the full update for the hordes and the infestations, because it's going to reduce the zombie threat level, and it's also going to provide that sniper recon support, which is going to make traversing the map a little bit safer. I mean, it already does now, but I believe that as they increase the devastation done by infestations, this is going to be more important than it is right now. So each of these buildings, each of the potential landmark outposts are going to give you options how you want to run it, what you want to do with it, and you will need to claim it and then pick a strategy. In my case, I'm not interested. I just wanted to run that past you guys as a valid option for gameplay. Back to my car. Back to the Batmobile. Boom, 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 boom. Ba-da-da-ba-ba. We gotta go home now. So, he did his business and he did it well. It's fantastic. I'm very happy with him. Looks like he actually finished his bounty broker mission too. Sweet. I have been working on that forever. It was something like dismember, I think, like 100 zombies and like remove their legs and stuff. Just, yeah, their arms. Thanks, management. Yeah, it was their arms, and it took forever. Yeah, it says return. I could go pick it up. It did. That's why I'm very happy. Those of you, again, new who do or who are like, what's a bounty broker? It's a dude on the map that you can complete challenges for, and he'll reward you with whatever's shown in the picture. When I pick it up, I will show you guys what that looks like. I don't intend to do that right this moment, but when I do, I will let you guys know more in details on what's happening with that. I just went the wrong direction. Yay! I'm glad that I am as broken in video games as I am in real life. And I still don't know what direction I'm going, no matter where we're at, reality or video games. At least I do it all the time. At least I'm consistent. Goodness. I'm telling you, do not tell me to be the one to deliver something. I don't know where I'm going. If I don't have Google, we're done. But luckily, nothing bad happened. We just turned the car around. So. That's why I have management. Management knows where she's going. Management could find something she's never seen before and know where it is, just instinctually. So I think it's this way, and I'm like, nah, there's no way. We go that direction, and 99% of the time, it was the way she suggested.
Ugh, the air tastes like blood soup.
Yeah, I said 99.9. There is a 0.1 chance. Oh, that's a nice cargo van. I'll be back for that. Or maybe it was a passenger. I don't know, but I know it's got storage in the back. That's what I know. Drive. Our door is busted. Man, Bieber's gonna be mad at him. He's gonna be like, what happened to my car, Farhat? Farhat's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It looks fine to me. He's like, it looks fine to me, buddy. Bieber, for those of you who don't know, our sheriff is our auto mechanic, and he's just, like, not gonna be thrilled. He'd be like, great, more work. Thanks, bud. Love that for me. Love that you just gave me additional work because you can. Thank you, Farhat, for that. There you go. Get him cleared out. He'll keep the pipe bombs. That's a Farhat thing.
While I was gone?
Farhat, you cannot say things like that. He's like, everybody behave while I was gone? Sir? You can't be asking a bunch of grown people if they behaved while you're not their daddy. Like, calm down. Alright. Let's see what else we got to do. I do have a couple of things I want to do. We got blood money as a quest. Someone suffering with blood plague won't be a pretty sight. Could be dangerous too. That's Farhat's opposition yet again. And I'm just like, yeah, you're right, because that's what we do with Farhat. We just agree with him and we move on. Also, because I truly do not do trade missions. With all of that said, I think we're in a fairly good built position right now. And it has been over 2 hours, so I appreciate everybody who stopped by, chatted, hung out with me, even for a little while. Thank you guys for being here and seeing the start of the Asylum community that we're building together. There will be more content on the channel, just it's gonna be a minute, so if you're enjoying this content, I promise there will be more. It's just I have to stretch out and put it further apart. I really love the game, but it's a game that burns me out, so I have to kind of put some space between episodes. Again, thank you for your time, your energy, and your efforts. Stay safe out there, crafters. If it's hot where you're at, and make sure you're hydrating, taking care of it, getting the AC on. If it's cold like it is here, please be bundling up hot cocoa, hot tea, hot chocolate, whatever you can do. Also hydrate. Those are dehydrating agents, so make sure you take care of yourselves. Keep on crafty, crafters. Kitty Craft out.